Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been trying to do the videos that I have been being requested to do lately, and I got a few requests, so that's what I'm knocking down this week for you guys. I hope that you like the amount of videos that you'll be seeing from me today and the content of them. So today I was asked, and I was asked a few times repeatedly, and I haven't gotten to this yet, so I hope no one's mad about it, but we're doing it today and I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about all of my favorite brushes that's in my collection, what I use every single time that I do my makeup, and what I use them for. So I'm going to leave everything that I talk about in the description box. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see me talk about anything else, just let me know. Let me know in the comments below. So if you want to see the brushes that I use on the daily and how and why I use them, then just sit tight and we'll get right into it. Now just a heads up, most every single brush that I'm going to show you guys is dirty because I've used it the whole week. So it's dirty. I need to wash my brushes. I usually do that either tonight or tomorrow. So you guys are just getting a video with a bunch of dirty brushes and sponges. It's what happens. It's real life. That's just what we do here on this channel. So I'm going to start with sponges and foundation brushes, what I use. I use mostly sponges, which are so incredibly dirty. I'm sorry, it's super gross, but this is the L'Oreal sponge. I always want to call it Revlon for some reason. This is the L'Oreal one. This is the only L'Oreal sponge I like and use. It's really dirty, God. Then we have the Real Technique sponge. This is, you know, everybody knows about the Real Technique sponges. Love them. Then this is an Amazon sponge. I believe it is from Juvenet. They have amazing sponges and they're so affordable, and you usually get them in a 2-pack, so that's really good. I love Amazon stuff. It's just what it is. And then lastly, the Flower Beauty sponge. I love this. Some people find it too soft. I find it perfect. If it's too soft for you, you can even use it dry. Why did that sound like it was like rah, rah, rah? You can even use it dry and it's really good. I mean, to each their own, but I just would never use an actual beauty blender from like Sephora. That's like $18 or $20. No. So for foundation brushes, I rarely ever use foundation brushes. It's just not something that I work well with. But one that I have used and use quite often now because it works so good is from It Cosmetics. This brush, I used it in To Get Ready With Me. You guys saw it. I was blown away. It's actually got a patent pending kind of thing in it where there's stuff infused in the actual bristles. It's supposed to help your skin. There's silk in there. I mean, there's so many products in there. You can actually go on the website and read about this brush, everything that's in it. This is their CC Plus Skin Perfecting number 702. This just makes your foundation look like you used a sponge or it was like airbrushed on. It's so amazing. I love it. It's probably the only brush that I will use for my foundation because I don't use them often. So when I do, I need something that's going to actually work and not leave streaks in my foundation. And something that I've actually wanted to just give you guys, if you decide to use a brush like this of any type of brush like this, what I found that works in the directions that actually came with this brush is to tap it on like you would almost a sponge and then sweep it lightly. You sweep it lightly kind of from the inside out to your face, and that really will help not have any kind of streaks, and it really helps the coverage. Because a lot of the times what I found when I used a brush with my foundations, even if it was a full coverage foundation, it still looked so sheer. So I wanted to use a sponge because it gave me more coverage. If you do it that way with the pressing and then the light sweeping, you still get the coverage from the full coverage foundation. Or I should say it maximizes whatever coverage foundation you have. Alright, now setting powder brushes, I use 3 different kinds. Lately I've actually been using a lot. I've been taking any kind of my sponge and taking that Coty Airspun powder and just pressing it into my skin and then sweeping it away. But I also do kind of finish off my face and my under eyes with brushes. So I want to go through that. The first one here, I have like 4 of these. This is from e.l.f. e.l.f. brushes are actually pretty good, you guys. And if that's where you want to start because you're on a budget, that's an amazing place to start. This is their small tapered brush. I just find it perfect for setting underneath the eye. It's perfect. Next, and this is kind of my backup, this one. Let's start with this one, then I'll tell you about the backup. This one is my absolute favorite, just full face powdered brush, and this is from It Cosmetics. It Cosmetics makes some amazing brushes. I collect them, and I don't have very many. in my collection because they're expensive. But this is the Heavenly Luxe Wand Ball Powder number 8. This is just so sweepy and soft, and it's just big enough, and I love this so much. When it gets too dirty though, I have a backup which is a lot like it, only a little bit more, less fluffy, I guess you should say. And this is from Moda Pro. This, I really like this. This is called their BMX 130 Pointed Blush. Now, you're going to see that I use a lot of brushes not for what they're labeled as. I would never use this as a blush brush because if you see how big it is, I don't think you want blush in that big of a chunk of area, and I just find this to be way, way better for me personally if I use it as a powder brush. Use brushes however it works for you. That is like rule number 1. That's uno numero. Is that how you say it? Uno numero for all makeup products. Use them how you want. Use them for how it works for you. So I use this as a powder brush and it works perfect. I used it today. Another universal brush that I use for, and you could use for many different things, is from Real Techniques. This is part of their Powder Blue collection. This is, I mean, I tell you guys every time I use the eyeshadow one, we're going to talk about it. This is sexy. It's sexy. They're expensive, more expensive than any other Real Technique collection or brush, but still on a relatively affordable budget price. Oh, I'm having issues. But this is their B03. This is like, it can be used as a buffer if you want to buff in foundations with this. I use this as a blush. If I want more of a kind of like compacted look to my blush, I use it that way. You could use this for so many different things. You could use it for your bronzer. I mean, literally anything that you wanted to use it for. So that's why I call it more of a universal brush, is because you can use it for so many different things. And I have a bunch of those. And I just use them for however I feel that day. So this is one of them. I think it's totally worth getting. Plus it looks amazing. It looks amazing. They don't have very many in this collection, but I want like almost every single one. Now for highlight, this is a little frustrating just because my favorite brush for highlighting has no name on it, and I'm pretty sure it's out of a really cheap set. So it looks like this. It just seriously has no name on it. I don't know where it came from. I don't remember. I've had this for years. That just tends to happen, but I figured, you know, I might have even gotten this from Shop Miss A. I'm not positive. I don't know, but I know the Shop Miss A has one, which is $1. This, I just wanted to show you the actual brush and what it looks like. That way, you know that any brush that looks like this is going to work the same way. It's kind of like a very small, fanned out brush, but I use this for highlight, and it is perfect. With the density of it, oh, look at it. Can you guys see all the highlight powder coming out from it? With the density of it, it really packs it on to give it a really big, like, to the moon shine. I'm having such trouble with this video. I can't talk. I'm trying to rush because my sister's on her way, so I'm very sorry. But this I use everywhere, like literally everywhere that I want highlight and I want it to be a more blinding highlight. This is the brush that I use. I find I have more control with it, and with the density of it, it really allows me to pack it on right away. So, and I can also blend it out with that type of brush too. So I'm good with that one. I use that one almost every single day. And now if I want a more fluffy one, I was using a fan brush, like a really little fan brush, and hated it. I don't know why, but I like the thicker kabuki style fan brushes, but not the littler ones. So I was really kind of just looking for a good one and found it in the Delium Tools one that I just recently got. This is their 941 Tapered Highlighting Brush. This, I used this in a Get Ready With Me recently. This is perfect. If you want a more blown out highlighted look, something that's not to the moon, beaming out aliens' eyeballs kind of thing, this is what you're going to look for. I mean, look, it jiggles. It's fun. It works. I love it. It's super soft. So that's definitely something that I think you guys will get good use out of. What is my issue? I'm so distracted. It's Sunday. I need Jesus. Now moving on to blush brushes, which is very hard to say. I'm going to try not to mess this up a million times. I use 3 different kinds. I mean, I really have, I think that probably 60% of my brushes are blush brushes. I just really like them, but let's move on to what I've been using recently. The first one from Morphe, and this is their E4. This I don't use as often, and you can really, this is another one of those kind of universal ones. A lot of them are. You can use it for contouring, you know, bronzing, blush, anything you want to, but I have found that I like it best for blush. So this is something that I use, but not as much. Like, my second favorite one that I use almost all the time, I thought my camera shut off. Do you see what I mean? I'm so distracted. The second one that I use all the time is from Real Techniques. This is another actual really universal brush. This is their Point L brush. This is a whole nother collection, kind of like the powdered blue one. They have a couple of different brushes in this range and they are amazing. They are domed and they're shaped kind of odd. Different than you would see, but I use this for blush and I absolutely love it, but you can use this for so many different things. There was like a list on the site of what you could use that brush for, and the awesome thing about it is Real Techniques, Sam and Nick, they have tutorials for every brush they make, every kit they sell, everything like that. They have tutorials, and they have, I believe they have their own YouTube channel. So I mean, if you want to go the Real Technique route, not only are they drugstore affordable, but they also show you how to use them. Now my favorite blush brush that I've been using constantly for a couple of months now is also from Morphe. I'm not an affiliate, you guys, and actually I think every Morphe brush I have was gifted to me from a friend, so I can't deny that they are really good brushes. So I'm not an affiliate though. No. This is their E3. Now this is another one that you can use for setting powder, bronzing, or blush. They're kind of all go together. This I love for blush. It's what I use today. It's what I used for months now. I really like this. It's so soft. I really like this Morphe collection with like the reddish hairs at the top. I don't know. They're really, really soft, really durable, and really good. Now for bronzing and contour, I don't really ever contour, but I do use like my bronzing powder just to kind of put where you would a contour, because I don't like the, contouring is just not for me. I try and I'm getting there, but I just don't like that look as much as I like a softer bronzer look. So I do use contour brushes for that though, because it just helps me. So first two that I hands down would recommend these. They are newer to me. Another set of brushes from Deluxe Tools. This one, I told you, it was in my favorites. This is an amazing freaking brush, okay? For anything, literally anything. I love this for my nose. It's so good. It's so good. This is our 977 Face Sculpting Brush. I use it for my nose. It says on the directions you can too. And I was like, no, that's too big. That's too big. And then I did, and I'm like, I'm never looking back. So that brush is amazing. And then this one. This is a dual fiber brush. I was always like, how the hell do you use a dual fiber brush? I never knew. So I have them and they've never gotten used. I actually tried this one out and love it. Not only is it great for getting like right under your cheekbone where you would contour or bronze, but it's also very fluffy at the end, so you can blend it out as you're blending upwards with it, you know, for your contour or bronzer. This is an amazing brush. This is their 966 Dual Fiber Face Shading Brush. So while that's for sculpting, this one is for shading. It's a contour thing, don't ask, because I'm not entirely sure with that one, but I use them for bronzers, and I do. Now my number one bronzing brush, like this is an amazing, amazing brush, is also from Morphe. I feel like I should be a Morphe affiliate because I should get paid for this ish, but not doing that. No way. This is the M528 brush. This is amazing. This is so good. It's so, so good. I think it's from their Elite collection. I don't know what they're called. I don't know. This is the all white brush hair one. It was all white. Need to wash my brushes. But this just gets in here so good, but it's still fluffy enough to use everywhere, all over your face. Wherever you would put bronzer, this brush just gets there. Soft, works great, and I just like it. That's what I use. Alright, so for eyeshadow, you guys, I use a ton, so I'm going to try to go through this quickly, or we will literally be here for an hour. So I'm going to try to go through this quickly. Now, I use fluffier blending brushes for the outer V of my eye, and these are the three brushes that I like the most. The first one being from Emax Design. This comes in a set. Emax Design is from Amazon. You can find a ton of great brushes on Amazon, so I will leave this listing down below. And then I also use another listing from Amazon. This is the Beauty Widgets. This set is amazing. Amazing. I love that one. And then Deluxe Tools. I must have a thing for Deluxe Tools, but I never noticed I use this many brushes, but I do. I actually use this today too. This is their 781 brush. This is part of their bamboo collection. The ends are bamboo. So that's what I use for the outer V, and it's kind of like a more fluffier pencil brush. Now the brushes that I use for under my eye, for just kind of fluffing under color, for really exact up close to the lash line, you know, for everything that I do under my eye, I use these 3 brushes. The first one, you're probably going to kill me, but this is my favorite one for underneath my eyes. And this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the brush that you get in any of their palettes. I take them. Like, I take them. I have passed on, I think, every single one of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes that I had. A little sad, I know, but I did, and I kept the brushes because this pointed brush end is perfect for underneath your eye, just for kind of like what you would do for your crease. That's what I do underneath my eye with that. And then when I want more exact detail, again, Delium Tools. This is the tiny, you can barely even see it, tiny pencil brush. This is so exact and so perfect. So I've been using that a lot when I want color that's really close to my lash line, that kind of blends in your eyeliner on your waterline down a little bit more so it's not so harsh. And then when I want an exact line but a thicker exact line, I go with e.l.f. And this is actually a $1 brush. This is their Smudge Brush. This is a great brush to have. You guys need to get this, and it's only $1. There's no reason not to. Now for setting my primers on my eye, I always go in with a brush that is more of a kabuki styled dome brush. This one is from Emax Design. It's part of one of their new collections with the gold end and barrel up here. There's like a matte black here. It's gorgeous. I showed you guys on Snapchat. Very affordable. Emax Design is amazing for brushes from Amazon. So I'll actually put their storefront in the description box. You guys want to check them all out. And then for brow highlighting, I actually go in with Beauty Junkies, another amazing brand from Amazon, you guys. I love them so much. I love them so much. You're actually going to see quite a few brushes from them. They are probably my #1 on Amazon. The quality is outstanding. So I just use this flat, what is this, all over shader brush. And I use that for my brow bone highlight, and it's perfect. Now usually for my actual eyeshadow on my lid, I just use my finger. And if I don't, I use this brush from Makeup Forever, which if you can find a different brush, I would. I haven't been able to find a different brush that does the same thing that this brush does, but I got this for free in Generation Beauty and never looked back. This is their Straight 226 brush. It is so expensive, but it's so worth it. I literally, for years now, have not been able to find a brush that stands up to this brush. I don't know why or what the bristles are made out of, but I have 2 other brushes from this collection too, and they're just better than anything I've ever used. Like, I don't know what the hairs are made of, but they're so soft and almost acts like it's almost wet already when it's not, and it just picks up color so well and puts the pure pigment of any eyeshadow straight on your eyelid. So I would recommend that, but that's only if you have the money. That's an investment. Now the brushes that I use in my crease for transition colors, the first thing that I start using on my eye when I do my eye looks, I have 3 of those. These are bigger, more fluffier. They kind of just distribute the color less pigmented and just all over, really, like from here to here. That's where the color goes. These are the brushes that I use. The first one is Morphe. This is my favorite one. This is the E27. This is an amazing brush, and it is so completely soft. Some of the brushes you can get like this can be a little bit coarse. This one it's so soft. Highly recommend that one. Oh, I abused it. The next one, which is right up there with that Morphe brush, Real Techniques, the Powder Blue collection. This is the B04. This is more dense than the Morphe brush, so it kind of distributes more pigment, but it's so good, and blending with this is a breeze. That's the first brush I bought from that collection because I had to have it. And then lastly, Beauty Junkies. This is one of the first blending brushes I ever had. This is their tapered blending brush. This is really good. Less soft than the other 2 I showed you, but still amazing, and does an amazing job at its job at blending out the transition colors. This is so good and very affordable, but they usually come in a kit on Amazon with a few other brushes, which is still probably more affordable than any of those brushes alone, except for the Morphe one. Morphe is really affordable. They're just a pain in the ass to buy from because the shipping is like... Now, smaller blending brushes that I use that are more for the inner crease, like really to get in there, I blend out everything with these. These are very vital to me. I love them. The first one here is from Beauty Junkies. This is the one, the white haired one. I use this all the time. It's super dirty. I use this every single time I do my makeup. This is one of the best brushes that I have. This is one of those brushes that if I didn't have, I would freak out about it. I would freak out. I wouldn't like it at all. I actually have 2 of them in my collection. Just in case one gets super dirty, I need to use another one. I need to have these on hand at all times, and I wouldn't mind having even more. This is a brush to get, so that also comes in a kit. I don't know if they sell them individually. If they do, I will list it, but totally worth having. And then a more fluffier kind of crease brush is from Morphe, and this is their M330. I don't know. I said one of them. 330. M330. And this, I like this. It's very, very good for getting like right in the crease. Right in the crease and just blending things out, or light wash of color. However, this does shed. Just saying. It sheds. And it's near your eye. Now, if I'm having trouble blending my transition and crease colors, if they're muddy or patchy, I'm just having trouble getting them all to just look kind of gradient, I use these brushes. And the first one being from Real Techniques. This has really small print. This is called their Base Shadow Brush. And I just use it to blend everything out. I find it very, very useful for that. And it's very soft but still dense enough to really blend stuff out if it's not blending well. And then this one is also, it's the blender from Beauty Widgets, which I talked to you about, another Amazon kind of kit. This is big, fluffy, but still dense. It's hard to explain, but this, I always use this at the end of every look to just airbrush my eye looks, to really blend them in and make them look gradient, no harsh lines. That's the brush that I use. Alright, and lastly, inner corner. What do I use for brushes for my inner corner highlight when I want to use it? The first one being from Carli. I don't know if they still have this brush. I've had it forever. It's kind of like a big domed pencil brush, but it's perfect. I can't use it for anything other than getting into my inner corner. It's dense, so it really puts on high shine pigment with the highlighter that I decide to use, or whatever eyeshadow I use. But Carli Cosmetics, you don't hear about them very often. They're constantly trying to sponsor people, but they're only sponsor like Niki tutorials and people like that. But they're, I don't know. But I like that brush. I think that it came in a kit though, or a set. I don't know why I keep saying kit, but I mean like a brush set. And then lastly, what I've been using a lot because it's more defined, and this is from Morphe. It just really gets in there where I want it to. The Carli brush can tend to put too much in too big of a spot, and sometimes I overdo it with the inner corner highlight. So this one just really, it's so tiny. It's their pencil brush, I think. It's the E36. It just works perfect, and it's still like dense, so it gives me that pigment, but I have more control over where the inner corner highlight is placed. So that is the horde of brushes that I use. I use a lot of brushes. I think brushes are very vital, but I'm going to, you guys better love me for how long it's going to take me to list all these brushes and link them in the description box. Love me, please. But I will have every brush I've talked about down below in sections. I will label them, you know, what brushes were part of what for you in the description box if you want to check them out. You can also, on the sites, they always tell you how to semi-use them. A lot of places will have tutorials down below, lower on the page on how to use them. If you have any questions about anything I talked about, just ask me in the comments. If you found this useful and you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know. I try, you guys. I'm not a guru. I'm just a lover of makeup. So I only tell you what works for me. So like I said, I hope you guys liked this and you found it informative and it was what you were looking for. If you have any other requests that you want to see me do, leave them in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.